It's Kendall Kirk here with Clemson University Precision Agriculture. I want to walk you through in this video a little bit about the soil sampling utility software installation and licensing. The last video covered a little bit on hardware requirements. Some of that information is down here on this website that we're looking at. This particular website is kirk2.people.clemson.edu/SSU. This is sort of a temporary housing for this site. You'll likely be able to come back here anytime in the future, and we'll post a redirect to where we'll permanently house this same information or similar information. The download link is not currently active. It's not currently live. As I'm filming this video here, we are still in the beta testing mode. So we've got individuals throughout the country, throughout the U.S., that are testing this software, and hopefully they'll come back to us with feedback where there are some glitches or some bugs, some things that we certainly need to resolve that we didn't anticipate, say with different GPS units or with different platforms. So once you do see a link here, we at that point will feel like we've got most of the bugs out of it, but I expect that we'll be continuing to provide updates on down the line. I'll talk a little bit more as I go along in this video about how the updates are implemented and then how you would have access to those updates. The price of the software is free, and I mentioned that down here. This is an offering, a service provided by Clemson Extension, and so we're providing this service so that we can increase the accessibility of precision ag technologies to growers. Within that, we also want to reduce the price of these technologies and also make them a little bit more efficient. We're trying to implement some features that are not available in some of the other software that is out there and available right now. As a part of this, I say it's free. Well, it's really not completely free. It's free of a cash interchange, but we do ask after a 30-day trial period. So you run the software for 30 days. And see what you think about it. Hopefully you like it enough you want to keep using it, and all we ask as a part of that is that you do complete a survey for us. That survey is designed to better help us understand how we can accommodate growers' needs, especially certainly throughout South Carolina, but if the things we develop for our South Carolina growers can benefit others in the country or beyond, then that's a bonus, I guess. One thing I did not mention, so we did talk up here, the other video, there's another video on hardware recommendations, so I'm not going to go into these details right here. But when I did do that hardware recommendations video, I mentioned these ruggedized laptops, and within those ruggedized laptops you can use with this software, some of them have internal GPS options for them, or GPS cards that you can use with them. I have not tested those. I've read up on them. What I understand on them is that they do set up and deliver NEMA sentences across the COM port, but what I've read on some of them is that they're not configurable. So I would certainly look into that. What we require in our software is a GGA signal, or excuse me, a GGA sentence along that NEMA string, that from this GGA sentence we get our position. And then if you have also the VTG sentence, this is not required, but if you have the VTG sentence, we get heading and speed. Heading and speed together give us a arrow indicator to tell you what direction you're heading when you're in the field, so you can look on the map and it's a little easier to see what's going on. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later on. I think that's most of what I've got. Well, a couple other points from what we see on this website here. There is a link on this site where you can go to a contact us form and give us a little bit of feedback if you have run the software, or if you want to request, if you'd like to request to join this beta testing group, we can accommodate you on those requests. And you can also join our Precision Ag newsletter email list, where we can keep you updated with future offerings. We will have many more software applications to come. We've got several more in the pipeline. So if this particular software package is something that you like, something that benefits you, I'd encourage you to join our list, and you'll see announcements of some of the other options that we put out there in the future. All right, now I'm going to walk you through a little bit about installation of the software, licensing of the software, and sort of startup, and then we'll have a separate video on how you run the software. The download link that you'll get, if you're in the beta testing group, you'll get a link that's the same link or a similar link to what will be provided here down the road. It's a installation file. When you download that installation file, right now what it's named is just simply setup.exe. So you download the installation file, you run the installation file. Early on here, probably within the next several weeks. So today is March 18th, 2017. We at this point do not have our code signing certificate. So when you download this setup file and run this setup file, it's going to say that this is from an unknown publisher, and it's going to give you all kinds of warnings because of that, especially if you're in Windows 10. So I encourage you to use your own judgment there. It's any time that you get software from an unknown publisher, you've got to use your own discretion as to whether or not you believe it will harm your device. We did not design our software to harm your device, but if someone provides something that looks like our software, then it certainly could. So if you're getting it directly from a Clemson.edu website, I would feel a little bit more certain that you're getting something that's safe. But again, I have to leave that up to you as to whether or not you trust what you're getting. Once you double click on that setup, it'll run everything, and hopefully everything installs properly. If it doesn't, and you're in this beta testing group, please let us know, and we'll look into what the specific problem was. After it installs, it will run automatically the first time you install it, and then after it installs, it'll go to your start menu here, and it'll list under CU Precision Ag. You can see some of the other software that's coming down the pipeline here. It'll set up as this soil sampling utility, and when you click it, it'll look first. When you go to run the software, the first thing it does is it looks to see if there's any updates. So all the updates go to the same place, they go to the same folder, and when updates are there, it will prompt you and say, do you want to download the newest version, or do you want to skip downloading or updating to the newest version? And then, as I mentioned earlier, you will enter into a 30-day trial period where you've got an opportunity to evaluate the software in the absence of completing a survey. And after that, we ask you to complete a brief survey, and then we deliver you a license code. So once I would encourage you, if you are satisfied with the software and you like the software, and as we have this design, you only have to do this once. So even if we have software updates and that kind of thing down the line, you're not going to have to go back and relicense it. That same license will apply to software updates down the line until we have a major build where we want to change some substantial portion of the software, substantial capabilities of the software. But mostly that license will only have to happen once. But although it does have to happen once per machine, the licenses are locked by machine, so you can't you can't take software that you're running on one machine and copy to another. You just need to go download it again if that's what you need to do. So when you load the software, when you run the software in this evaluation mode, you will always see this window right away. And in this window, it's got the opportunity to click Continue Evaluation where you run the program. We'll do that a little bit later. Once you obtain a license code, you can enter it right here at this Enter License link. And then to obtain the license code, and if you are happy with the software, I'd encourage you to do this much prior to this 30-day period, because right now the script to kick out license codes is not automated, and so we have to manually generate those, and it could take several days for us to get back to you, once we do have your request to get a license code. But again, if you are happy with the software, we need this number right here. This is your machine specific code for the machine you're running on. You can click this copy button right here to get that code, then click Obtain License. And when you click Obtain License, it brings you to this survey that I talked about earlier. So you'll enter your machine code in here, enter in all your information on this form, some of this survey information. You've got an option here to join the Precision Ag, the Clemson Precision Ag newsletter if you have interest in that. And then you come down to the bottom and you hit Submit, and you wait a little while. Hopefully once we've got this script automated to crank these out, then you'll only have to wait a minute or less, and you'll have your license code right away, and you can start running with the software. I'm going to close this window here now and go back to the software and show you when you click Continue Evaluation, it will open up the software. Now the actual bounds of my video here don't really fit the screen. I'm going to switch on my next video and widen the bounds a little bit. So this is what you look at when you're running the software. If you need to get back to that licensing interface, there's a button right here, information. It's an About button. So you can click on that About button and it'll open up this window where you can get to our Contact Us form if you need to get a hold of us for any issues, problems, comments. Again, please, if you have things that we can do to improve the program or to make it easier for you all to use, make it something that's more valuable to you, please let us know. We don't have a fleet of software programmers working with us, but we will try to do what we can to accommodate the requests we get and prioritize them. To get back to that licensing interface, when you're in this evaluation copy mode, you can click the Open Licensing Interface button, and it opens that same window that we were just looking at a little while ago. That's about all here. I did notice a bug already right here. This is version 1.0.09, but it's saying 0.1, so I'll look into that as soon as I'm done with making this video right here. And I'm going to close out here on the installation and licensing. We'll pick back up here and I'll walk through a little bit about how the software works and how you run the software for your operation.